I just need a break. Not from art, but from the routine. Charcoal drawings are awesome, but my inner child wants some colors. Over the last couple of weeks, I kept seeing colorful paintings all over my feed, and somehow they brought me back 7 years to the university when I used to paint. The feeling became so strong that I couldn't ignore it anymore. So for the first time in the last few years, I'm pressing pause on my black and white series. I want to go back and see what happens. It's been 7 years since the last time I painted, and during all those years, I never touched a paintbrush. Well, technically I did while working with charcoal powder, but I don't think that counts. So I want to try oil painting again and find out how much my skills have changed without practicing. There is just one small problem. I don't even own any oil paints anymore. Well, I still have a few tubes from university, but they're probably expired by now. And honestly, I don't really want to find out. I just keep them as a little treasure. So before I can paint anything, I need to build my collection from scratch. But what should I paint? Well, if I'm coming back to oil painting after 7 years, I want to paint one of my favorite characters that I've already drawn. If I'm going to paint someone for the second time, it has to be a character I genuinely enjoy. So I am painting Muichiro Tokito. At this point, I had absolutely no idea what was about to happen. But in my mind, this painting already looked like a Van Gogh masterpiece. But somehow I already managed to mess up the canvas toning part. Honestly, I don't even remember if I used to tone my canvases 7 years ago. But I hoped I could cover it later. So let's get started. For transferring the reference on the canvas, I used the charcoal transfer technique. Now comes the most interesting and at the same time the scariest part. It kinda feels like going on your first date, you know, when you have no idea what to expect. But the moment I started squeezing the paints on the palette, it somehow broke the ice, and I immediately felt a little more comfortable. Honestly, the thing I doubted the most was color mixing. Even though I spent a few days watching oil painting tutorials on YouTube, I still wasn't sure I'd be able to do it. As far as I remember, this was also one of the things I struggled with back at university. But knowing which colors to mix to get the base hue made the whole process much easier. Another thing I learned from those tutorials was the difference between tone and hue. They sound similar, but they're completely different, and understanding that made a huge difference. First, you need to find the correct tone or value, and only then adjust the hue. That's what creates the illusion of depth and gives the painting its three-dimensional look. So, with that in mind, I just kept painting. And honestly, everything was going surprisingly smoothly. I really didn't expect that. Well, except for the lips. I repainted them about 4 times because they kept looking like Muichiro had some botox. Unfortunately, I didn't record those attempts because I was really concentrated on fixing them. Actually, do you know guys how difficult it is to record while you're drawing or painting? It's so distracting. Every time you stop to adjust the camera, you break your concentration and getting back into that creative flow isn't always easy. But I guess that's just part of being an artist. Anyway, after a few more hours, It had been 7 years since I last painted with oils, but somehow it felt like I had never stopped. The painting was finally finished.